So this is going to be about doing what you like to do, so what you're passionate about, and also a few more things that I found in another article. But this time it's not going to be the exact same thing as yesterday. So yeah, with that being said, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And I'm really pumped, as quite always. And these are just some things that are in my head. These things are in my head. I'm always have to say that actually. I'm always having to say them. But yeah, as I said before, this one's going to be about doing what you like to do or doing what you're passionate about. And also just a few other things. But as always, I'm going to go through what I'm having in my mind. So I'm going to share my thoughts in the first place. Then we will go through the article. And then there's probably also going to be some Quora and or Reddit questions as well, because I assume that we are having some time left in the end. All the links that you might need that might be interesting to you are down in the description. So please check them out to be sure that you're not missing out on something. Passion and doing things that you actually like to be doing. It is particularly important, especially if you're trying to be successful. And this is definitely something that I've been trying to communicate really often and that I have also been communicating really often. But I still feel like that having an episode where I'm just going to go through this and all the facets maybe of what I'm thinking about in terms of that might be pretty valuable. So if you're willing to be successful, working on the things that you actually like to be doing is something, at my point of view at least, is essential. Because if you're working on something which you're just intending to letting it be successful, or you do just want to get successful or become successful by doing that, you do just need to be passionate about it. You just need to be obsessed with it or about it. I don't know. It is really kind of essential, it is a must, basically. Because as we have seen by going through some articles on Elon Musk, for example, I think it's one of the best examples. He was working 180 hours a week. And that's fucking nuts. It's really a lot, and it is not really easy. And you're only able to actually sustain that amount of work. I do not really want to say that you have to work 180 hours a week, but potentially, maybe, theoretically, maybe, it could basically be the case. Maybe. The thing is, if you're not passionate about whatever you're doing, if you're not passionate about the work that you're doing, if you're not passionate about whatever you're doing, that should be your hustle. Because maybe there's a side hustle at this point in time, you have to be passionate about it because you wouldn't be able to just go through these hard times if you weren't successful, if you weren't passionate about it. There is no way, because it is way too hard, and also becoming successful at something that you're not really passionate about is not such a good idea, since there is somebody that is passionate about this particular thing. There is somebody that is going to do the work, that is going to put in the work, that is actually going to do something about it, doing something about their passion on this particular thing, whatever it might be. And this is one of the reasons why you should really be working at something that you like to be doing, because you're not going to stop in the middle of the way. You're going to stop in the end, maybe not even in the end, because you're going to just do it for your whole life. And this is also one of the reasons why authors don't fucking retire, because they like what they're doing. And I think it is some kind of a fault and some kind of a flaw that the whole society and the whole community, especially I think in my area, is having, that we're just working just one corporate job in our fucking entire life, which is not necessarily something that I would say is bad, but if you don't like your job, if you just really are looking forward to the weekends, which is also nothing too bad, to some degree it is, because it just shows that you do not really enjoy the whole fucking week. And I mean, we are working quite a lot. I would argue that it is a third of our whole life that we are working. And if you're then really working on something that you don't really like, then it is just wasted time. And you're probably also not going to be very successful by doing it, since you're not going to put in the work and since you're not going to be the best at it. Because something that I've seen, I think this especially with myself, is that when I'm good at something, then I'm also just liking to do it, Then I also just like to do it the whole fucking day long if I'm good at something. But if I really suck at something, of course I do not want to do it because I fucking suck. I especially see it in terms of sports, when I'm having just physical education in school and we are playing something that I'm not really good at. I don't know, I do just not want to do it. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm willing to quit. I'm still gonna try, but it's nothing that's fun. And therefore it's also nothing that I'm willing to do for more than a few minutes, basically. But if you're doing something that I really like and that I'm really passionate about, like soccer and or basketball and all those things, then I'm gonna just put in the work. I'm gonna just give my best. I'm just gonna be, I'm trying to be their best, which I'm actually often trying to do. I'm not necessarily always the best. I really try hard, sometimes actually too hard, so that I actually get very aggressive, which is kind of fucked up then, but you need to be passionate about what you're doing. On the other hand, there is also people like Casey Neistat that actually talk about not doing something that you like to be doing in the first place. But in the second place, it should lead you, like doing something that you not really like to do is going to lead you to just figuring out and knowing what you actually like to do. And having the contrast of doing something that you absolutely hate compared to doing something that you so fucking like is also very important. Because if you're doing something that you hate, you know what it feels like. If you have never ever done something like that, if you have never ever done just something that you really fucking hate, you don't know how it feels like. You don't know how it feels like to just basically having your soul drained or drowned as well, some sort of. You just kind of feel really fucking bad. And I think people just need the experience and also need kind of the knowledge about this feeling so that they can also actually figure out what they like, then also can validate that they actually like it. Because if you're then doing something else and you kind of feel like the first one, or you kind of feel like in the first one, then I don't know if it is something that you actually like to be doing. So figure that out. I would say figure it out, please, because it is truly important. And please don't fucking work in a job and fucking have a fucking corporate job that like is, I don't know, it's just letting you feel bad. It shouldn't be the case. Like, we're working so much in our life. It should really be something that you like to be doing. And even if you kind of just switch the job every, 3 years, I think that's fine. Of course, you then can't really assume or expect that you're going to be rich in terms of corporate job. If you're having your own business, of course, you kind of fucking just have 700 businesses and everyone you're liking from one day just to the other day, and then you don't like it any longer and then you just quit it or sell it. You can do that. But if you're in a corporate job, I guess, and if you're switching jobs all the fucking time, I don't know if this is going to be good for your pockets in terms of your money. I don't know. I think it also depends on how you're living, and where you're living. How you're living in terms of how much money you spend on stuff, and especially also on dumb stuff that you actually do not need, but you kind of feel like you need them, but you do not really need them, which is, which is letting you lose quite a lot of money, my point of view. But yeah, let's actually go through the article. And this article is by the pickthebrain.com site, which is actually a relatively famous site. And the story of the whole site is also relatively interesting since it was founded by, I think it's been a woman. Yeah, I think it's been a woman. And she was doing it for like her colleagues, I guess, or for her friends. And then it evolved into something really fucking big, which is kind of like one of these success stories that we often read. Like, first of all, like the first is okay. Never mind. And this one is about overcoming challenges, a message to my younger self. And I've seen, because I'm not really willing to go through the whole introduction part, but there are a few points. And one of them actually is doing something that you're passionate about and doing something that you actually like to be doing. And this was also one of the reasons why I've then, been talking about that. Because it kind of reminded me on the fact that it is truly fucking important. But yeah, the first one is don't sweat the small stuff. At any given moment, bad experiences seem like they will last forever, but they don't. You will do yourself a greater favor if you do not treat them like they are permanent. Life will always have its challenges. Take each bad thing, learn your lesson, fix what you can, and wait for the good times to come rolling in again. Because they fucking will. And they really will. And I've been talking about it before, but I've had friends and I've had people in my life that were really feeling bad. Like they had a really, I wouldn't necessarily say bad life, but they were feeling just really bad. And I've always been like, it's gonna be better. And of course, they were also like, no. But actually is the case. It is always gonna be fucking better, no matter fucking what. The chance that it is not gonna be good, the chance that in the end everything is fucked, is not really high. It really is not high. And of course it can happen, but most of the time everything just is fine again. But it is also just applicable to those things that are really good. Everything fades, basically. If it is good, if it is bad. So please enjoy maybe even the bad things as well as the good things, but especially the good things, I would say. The second point, take time to find out what you like and do it often. The earlier you learn about your likes and dislikes, the earlier you define your personality and character. Knowing yourself will help you choose a sustainable life with the right education, career, and other life goals. Otherwise, you may waste a lot of your early years in confusion, which is nothing that bad, because I first of all assume that I assume that we all waste a lot of time in our really early life, I guess, since figuring out yourself just takes time. And I guess for some people it might just actually take 50 years, maybe even 70 years. I think it is totally a process, and it is totally something that is, it's not really linear, as so many different things are in life. Really just a few things in life are linear, but not really a lot of them. There are ups and downs, and everything is just completely a mess, basically. And I think it's also kind of the exact same thing with figuring yourself out, because it's gonna take time. It's gonna take maybe 4 years for me from this point on, and it's gonna take 2 years for you. But it could also be like, okay, it's gonna take 10 years for me, and also 10 years for you. We don't actually know. Or at least, I don't know. 3. Choose one thing or skill you're good at and excel at it. In the course of exploring your personality by trying out new skills, you will discover things you are good at and love doing. You will identify these things by the compliments and results you get after doing them. Pick that thing that fires you up and make a profession out of it. You are far more likely to make a difference in the world and make a great living when doing something you're passionate about. The earlier you find it, the better. I would say so. I clearly would say so. The 4th one, don't be afraid to cut off the wrong people from your life. Also something that I've been talking about before, really important. There are unfortunately a lot of negative people out in this world, on this planet, and I can somehow understand, I can understand it to some degree, since life is not always fair. Basically, life is never ever fair, and there are just also a lot of different things that can happen to people, which, people suffer. Even though suffering is something that we're consciously deciding to do, pain is not something that we can decide to do or decide to feel, because it is just a reaction from our bodies. Of course, you can also be like, well, if it is something mental, it is also just a reaction from our bodies, but we still can choose to do it. And I think we could also choose to feel pain or not. If we train just really a lot on that, I guess we're actually able to, not feel the pain actually. Even when we're actually feeling pain, if you kind of get what I'm referring to. But yeah. The 5th one, find mentors and role models and learn from them. Something that we are able to do in our lives in this day and age is we are able to basically model everybody. We can actually have every singular person that is on this planet as a role model, basically. We can do the exact same thing as the person is doing. We can just act the exact same way as the person is doing, unless it is actually a person where there's not a lot of content available online, because I'm talking about the internet, because it gives us the opportunity to really model everyone. We do just need some content, we do just need some videos, we do just need some information, and then we actually can do something about it. And it is really fucking easy. It really is. And it is also something that you should be doing. And just because we're talking about, the thing actually just above, cutting out the wrong people from your life, it's the exact same thing with all the media that you're consuming. Because all the media, it is also going into your fucking subconscious mind. If you're just consuming some negative bullshit all fucking day long, of course it's not gonna make you really happy. At least this is what I really believe in. Especially if it is about music, especially if it is about the podcast that you're consuming, especially if it's about these things that you're actually listening to, I would say. I think in general those things, and also, but if you're really just a series guy, a Netflix guy or girl, or an Amazon Prime girl or guy, then these are also things that are staying in our subconscious mind. At least I believe in it, and I think also just a lot of other people believe in it, and also would say that it just makes sense. If you're consuming something over and over and over again, it is definitely going to be in your fucking mind, The exact same thing as if you would be learning vocabulary just 100 times, they're going to just fucking stuck in your brain, basically. Even though we really do not want to have that, it is not something that we consciously decide to have, basically, but it is still in our fucking head, it is what it is. But I'm not so sure about mentors. Because mentors are if you're able to get a mentor, and if you're just having one available, basically, take it. Take him, take her, take it, whatever. But I think it is nothing that's scalable, as Seth Godin actually was referring to it as well, because there are a certain amount of people, and these certain amount of people might be successful or are probably going to be successful, and not everyone's going to just hang out with you, not everyone's going to have the time, first of all, not everyone's actually is willing to do so. Who the fuck wants to just, I don't know, hang out with a stranger? So just so that the stranger is gonna be successful just because of me or of that particular person. I don't know, it feels really strange, kind of, if I'm kind of thinking about, but it is not scalable. Mentors are not scalable. This is one of the reasons why you should just be looking forward to those articles, those interviews, those videos, those podcasts, whatever is on the internet about the particular person that you're willing to be like, that is your role model. The sixth one, continuously develop yourself for the better. Of course, for the better, going into the wrong direction or going into the past, it's not going to be a good thing, or going into the wrong direction, basically. But it is something that's understandable, I guess. It is also something that a lot of people are talking about, and also a lot of successful people are talking about. And this, if you're interested in self-development, if you're interested in being successful and all those things, you're probably going to come across just being a lifelong learner. It is always something that a lot of people are talking about, but basically everyone is talking about, every site is talking about. But I would say, or I wouldn't say that it is something bad. I would actually say that it is good and it makes sense. And I think that it doesn't necessarily have to be a conscious process. I think it can also just be a subconscious one, because if I'm doing something online, or if I'm just checking out some things to see if they are working and whatnot, I'm learning, and it is actually something that I've realized about myself, that I'm learning quite a lot, I really am, because I'm interested in just various different things, if it is about software, if it is about just some knowledge in general, music things, because I was interested in how I could be doing music or making music, producing music, and therefore I just, got some knowledge. Just some really kind of surface level knowledge, of course, nothing really deep, nothing really specific, but in the end it is knowledge. In the end it is learning. But of course, I don't know, just learning just a very broad spectrum of things might not be really good, but going really deep into something might be really, really good. The seventh one is make time for fun and also family. I would refer to this as escapism, actually, I think. Because we all need escapism. We all need some time in a day where we are actually actively are resting, I would say. Of course we're having the passive rest. Of course we are sleeping. We all are sleeping. But it is nothing that's comparable to just actively resting. If I'm laying in bed, I'm listening to music, just doing something that's relaxing myself. It might also be meditating. I really think that we all need some sort of escapism, whether it be video games, whether it be just watching some movies and whatnot, meditating, actually working might be the exact same thing, or might do the exact same thing for certain people. But we all need that. We all need the balance. We all need to sleep. We all need to have the rest. There's no way around it, I guess. I think... Well, just unless you kind of really do not want to be happy, I assume. Especially if you're feeling that that is making you unhappy, then you totally have to do something against it or do something about it. But let's actually have a look at some core questions. The first one, I'm going to upvote it just because. How to escape isolation when you're scared to open up and connect? The thing is, open up and connect, I guess. It is kind of one of the questions, I don't know, it's difficult. I think one of the easiest way, I would say figuring out the easiest way to connect and open up. If it is about the internet, if it is about on some TeamSpeak servers or Discord servers where you're just talking to people and making some friends there, which is also possible. You do not necessarily have to go out in the world and just talk to fucking strangers and try to just, get to know them and whatnot. No, you could also just be doing that online. You could also just be in this community, in the self-improvement community, and make some friends there. It really is possible. It really is. This is one of the main reasons why the internet is so great, that it is just making so many things possible, and that it is showing up so many different possibilities and so many great possibilities for you to just work, make connections, make others people's life better, and all those things. It opened up a lot of things, at least at my point of view. Be still, my heart. Your anxiety is lying to you. You are loved and going to be okay. It's actually a pretty quick one, but I would say, and also a lot of other people on Reddit said, that it actually is a good one. Because it is the case, because it is the truth, because it is what it is. A last one. A fear of conflict, something that I'm having as well. I'm always trying to not get get into any conflicts because it's also necessary. And I wouldn't say that this is something bad, since just, I don't know, consciously going into conflicts and trying to have conflicts, I wouldn't say that this is good. I wouldn't say that this is actually making anything better, not for you, not for the other person. No, you don't have to have that. But maybe we're just reading that. I'm very afraid of conflict in life. Arguments, fight situations where the other person is aggressive, and other such situations make me go into a flight mode. Therapy. I'm just thinking about therapy, since it might be something that's lying in your subconscious, that it is in your subconscious because of, I do not want to talk about traumas, but maybe there have been some life events in your life, obviously, and these led to you not really feeling good about conflicts and aggression and all those things. I would say that one of the best things, even though I'm always trying to just give not only one solution, but I would say therapy is always something that is going to work. For some people better, for some people not so good. But in the end, seek therapy. It is nothing bad. It is totally fine. A lot of people had therapy, of course, and it is nothing to be ashamed of, first of all. And second of all, I don't know, Google it. Of course, you're not going to find an answer for everything that you're Googling, but something that I'm actually seeing to finish up with this episode is that a lot of people do not even fucking try to fucking Google. And I don't fucking understand it. You could just ask Google whatever it is about, especially if it is about some things that has something to do with software. The probability is really, really, really high that somebody else already had the problem before you and solved it through communities on, let's say, the Adobe blog or Adobe blog, I don't know, or just the Microsoft blog, if you're having some problems with fucking Word. Could be the case, But yeah, this is going to be the end of the episode, I guess. I really hope that I was able to just provide some value, do something for you. And yeah, I hope that I'm going to see you the next time. I hope that... that this just helped you. So if it helped you, just like the YouTube video and or rate actually the podcast. Check out the show notes and also the description. Depends on where you are, if you're on the podcast, if you're on the YouTube video. And yeah, I'm going to see you the next time. I at least hope. So please subscribe to the podcast and also the YouTube channel. And yeah, I wish you the best health, of happiness, and all success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself how you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy. Because this is something that we can totally stimulate. And it is also something that we can totally just manipulate by, for example, being a nice person, then also being remembered as a nice person. As easy as it is, or as easy as it might sound, it might not be that easy. 3 other questions that I hope that you're going to ask yourself are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, since a lot of startups and also a lot of companies and a lot of people started out with something and or fixing something and or solving something that really pissed them off. But yeah, I'm going to see you the next time. I at least hope.